The study indicates that smokers, especially former smokers, may be more susceptible to 2019 nCoV and have infection pathways different than non-smokers. Hi, welcome to our coronavirus update. Today, February 29th, I think, we are at around 2,800 or so deaths, 82,000 plus infections, and we're also seeing a spread outside of China in larger numbers. The SCMP recently reported new research finding that the coronavirus is far more likely than Sars to bind to our human cells. And so with time, with more research on the coronavirus, we are able to have more information, and this is great because with more information, I believe that more things can be done. So the big question I always ask myself when I'm faced, whether it's with cancer or now with this coronavirus, I always ask the question of what can we do? Is there something that I can do? And with this new article that was published, we do see that there is a lot more than we can do than just hand hygiene or masking up or the typical just, eating well, sleeping well. With this coronavirus, we know that it needs a protein receptor, specifically the ACE2 protein receptor that binds onto it. And I'll explain that using this diagram. So if you take a look at the diagram, this is actually for all general viruses. And you can see there's the cell, and then up top is the virus with the blue dots. And how the virus enters our cell is through these S-spike protein receptors. And these receptors, depending on the virus, will have different protein receptors. In the case of the coronavirus, we know that there are at least two influencers that can cause the coronavirus to attach to our receptor cells. The first one is a receptor binding domain where we know that it easily attaches on through or with the ACE2 protein receptor. And then also another cleavage site that targets a protein enzyme called furin. And so if we look at the first cell, so the receptor there provides an entryway for the virus to attach onto, and that's where the virus can enter into our cells in number 2, and that's where the virus will release the DNA or the RNA. And so in the case of coronavirus, this is an RNA virus, and so it will release the RNA information. And in the third step, you will see that with the cell will actually replicate this RNA unknowingly. It doesn't know that it's an instruction from a virus, and so it will follow this instruction and it will produce more of these viruses. And from there, the cells explode to release new viruses into the body, and the infection cycle is repeated and spread throughout the body unless it is contained. This video, I will be focusing on this ACE2 receptor. I'll do another one on the furin receptor later on, so be sure to stay tuned for that. But for this coronavirus, we know that the ACE2 receptor plays a part in having this virus enter our cells and infiltrate our body. There are early studies suggesting that this COVID-19 coronavirus shares about 80% of the genetic structure as Sars. The ACE2 is also found in Sars, and that's how it was really transmitted from one person to another. There has been studies suggesting that ACE2 is more prevalent or found more in Asians as opposed to Caucasians and Africans. However, the study was done on a very, very small group. But I did find another study that suggests that it was actually done on 224 lung cancer patients. This study suggests that actually, apart from race and gender, the fact that they smoked, their lifestyle habit of smoking, had a higher influence of whether they had a high concentration and distribution of ACE2. Yeah, I'm just quoting this study, that the study indicates that smokers, especially former smokers, may be more susceptible to 2019 nCoV and have infection pathways different than non-smokers. this is really, if you are smoking, this is really the best time to stop smoking and to encourage those around you who are smoking to stop smoking, because secondhand smoke is just as bad. The study didn't talk about environmental factors like pollution, but I would think that there will be some kind of impact, and especially living in Asia or just any big city, pollution, air pollution is a really, really big issue. And so, of course, that big question of what can we do? Well, we can detoxify our lungs, and we can also strengthen our lungs. So this nCoV-19 acts as like a pneumonia. It infects our respiratory tract, and so that is where we really want to strengthen. Of course, immune system and the basics is really important, but now that we know this ACE2 receptor is really important for the virus to enter our cells, and with this study also of smokers and showing this correlation of having higher ACE2 receptors in smokers, that's where I would want to, this is why I would want to target the health of our lungs. So how to detoxify our lungs? We all know about full body detoxes, liver detoxes, gallbladder detoxes, but very few people talk about a lung detox. So with a lung detox, first of all, with all toxins, it's about eliminating exposure. So again, if you're smoking, quit smoking. If you're around smokers, I would highly suggest you not to defriend them, but to encourage them to stop smoking. Secondhand smoke is just as bad. But other ways that you can eliminate your exposure is also just filtering your air with a really good air purifier. And also houseplants. Houseplants are a great way, a very beautiful way also to help clean out your air. And if you want to adopt other measures, you can include something like this Respir Essence. And the reason why I like this Respir Essence is because it has two very crucial main herbals in there, and that is thyme and licorice root. So thyme has been studied to help fight respiratory infections. It also acts as a very natural expectorant, so it can help thin out your mucus, because a lot of the times when we're breathing in the pollution or cigarette smoke, these small fine particles are actually stuck in our lungs. And this can create also lung tissue damage or even scarring. The thyme can help thin out the mucus and help clear out some of these particles. The second ingredient that I really love in this formula is licorice root. So there was a study done in the UK, 2008 study done by the Luton and Dunstable Hospital NHS Foundation. And they tested the licorice root extract against a number of viruses, including HIV and Sars. So this particular herbal ingredient was done on a coronavirus. Now, it doesn't mean that it is particularly 100% effective on nCoV-19, but because SARS and nCoV have about an 80% genetic similarity, we can draw some kind of correlation. And what they found is that this licorice root extract was able to break down the viral envelope or the viral membrane, the virus membrane, and also help boost immunity. So this is crucial in this time, and also it can help detoxify our lungs, which hopefully can also help lower our ACE2 receptors that the virus depends on to enter our cells. Now, how to strengthen our lungs? For those of us who live in Asia or just any kind of city, lung health is really, really important. And yeah, with pollution, sometimes we could have just scarring in our tissue lung. And so after the detoxification of the lung, I like to use a silica, which is a mineral found in horsetail. Horsetail is one of the most abundant plant sources of silica. And silica has been used for years for skin health, nail health, hair health, but also it has research showing that it can help with connective tissue as well, and connective tissue repair, specifically in our lungs. So just to recap, with this new coronavirus, we know that there are two influencers that help the virus attach onto our cells to enter our body, and that is an ACE2 receptor, protein receptor, and also a furin protein receptor. This video talks only about the ACE2, and I found also a research suggesting that in smokers, the ACE2 is found in higher concentrations, and also there was one particular study just stating that former smokers or smokers are more susceptible to this 2019 nCoV virus. And so my suggestion, my takeaway is to detoxify our lungs, houseplants, air purifiers, but also with herbals, and also to strengthen your lungs with a horsetail silica, just to make sure that all bases are covered. So I hope this was helpful. Please do like, subscribe, share this video to your loved ones, and I will see you guys next time. Stay healthy.